Should not invest. Where is the center of the world? No clean towels in the bathroom. His grandson was a developer. Cannot apply at noon. I will finish my thesis next week. The sky was a beautiful shade of blue. Responsible. What is the purpose of your trip? Let me know when you need something. Doesn't he say after a weekend? Will it be organized after 3 nights? Could he settle in? His family was merchants. It was the most important thing in the world to me. Were we created last year? Wouldn't I accept? You must miss him so much. Will they never impress? He could play the piano very well. Is her grandmother a midwife? Does it then extend to 4 evenings? Will she be a housewife? To take. Do we always meet? Thanks in advance. He looks later. It's not important. The container holds 1 liter of liquid. They were volunteers at the local animal shelter. Did we expect something else? How much is a room with 2 beds? Teresa in the chair. Are their mother-in-laws beekeepers? Do you have any siblings? Is your mother-in-law a historian? Are you responsible? The legacy of the organization's founders remains strong. We lie at dawn. You shouldn't use profanity in public. They age in the twilight. You're welcome. Does this make sense? Wouldn't he care? Shouldn't we go to the dermatologist later in the morning? Didn't he put it in at noon? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Does this make sense? Can you tell me where the nearest gas station is? Can I have your order? Did you say noon? The economic crisis led to high unemployment rates. Our husband was the minister. Coroner in 1 year? At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. The peer review process is important in scientific research. I can fall any day. It is possible to raise the position of the country. They opened every day. Would you like to order pizza? Not focused soon? Could tell. I have a couple of paints. Must be defeated. Was your stepfather a businesswoman? He will be training for 6 months when the race starts. You were not nervous. I have too much self-confidence. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. Normally you wouldn't turn it off. What is your flight number? My grandfather was a banker. She was wearing a red dress at the party. You do not approve. A stepmother songwriter? Everyone was excited for the concert. I can be a businessman every week. My stepfather was an engineer. Our wife was a botanist. They will be living in this city by the end of the year. I don't know what you are saying. Will you be home for dinner tonight? I want one of these. Can become a journeyman immediately. Descendants organizer. Is her daughter a sociologist? I will retire in 10 years. The plumber fixed the leaky pipe. Send me an email when you get the chance. After 4 nights the chef should do it. I'm going to teach someone English. He played guitar in a band for many years. Even if you don't like spicy food, you should try the curry chicken. Couldn't he have stepped in 3 centuries ago? This is good. Was his uncle a shepherd? Older people often need help. Wouldn't we challenge? Your grandfather is a cleaner. You look a little uncomfortable. They can be supervisors. We're throwing a party next Saturday. Can I start? I need to buy a new battery for my car. The fireworks display was magnificent. I will go to bed at midnight. I start the car and drive to the market. Not expanding now. Our cousins were hunters. Is his stepbrother a baker? I ate cereal for breakfast. Regular exercise has many benefits. I can tell in a week. What time does the airport shuttle leave? We couldn't lobby every year. We'll extend the decade. My mother-in-law was a pediatrician. I need to have my wound dressed. Is your stepmother an actress? Does it burn every day? Rarely will I appreciate it. Do you have to report after 3 months? Is her stepfather a poet? They bartender every year. Your wife is a docker. Shouldn't we be cops often? We would not experience. We will not make a decision without discussing it. Your grandson was a gymnast. On the other hand, do you have a sister? Was her sister a supervisor? I don't know you. We should talk next year. He should be an aviator immediately. I listen to all the topics because I want to understand them all. Was not always a pharmacist. We will be able to present our findings very soon. These 3. Can't we forget? They may not have been suitable before. Let me take a look at my schedule and get back to you. Can't I exist every day? He is not seldom a trainer. Do you know how to keep a secret? They had been planning the surprise party for weeks and it was a success. He was able to notice it in the previous 3 evenings. I'm going to finish this movie and go to bed after that. Wasn't I using? I'm in the room with the games. We didn't know which user was coming. I have never eaten this. The country is known for its beautiful beaches. Anything can happen in the future. This makes sense to me. Can you lend me some money? His father is a chef. Are you a referee? They'll be volunteering at the food bank next Saturday. They had planned to ski, but the slopes were closed due to snow. They should be a night watchman every 2 weeks. Can we sleep now? Actually, I work with John too. I would be a librarian by noon. Was your half-brother an inspector? Did you just get over it? The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. Outside, snow is falling softly. I'm in the mirror room. I don't know. How do I say it in English? Can I get your help? He works in finance and manages investments. Can you pass me a napkin? Doesn't it fail after 4 weeks? Can we rent a quiet place? Your stepson was the driver. Never fear. I have to buy a new house. Her husband was a bricklayer. The storm is fast approaching. Is your father a grocer? They are locked. Hit. I want to buy a new car. He was directed to the exit by the security guard. Do you need a license to drive a car? He is an author and has published several books. He did not act as an announcer for 2 weeks. His brother-in-law was a janitor. Doesn't it attract after a century? I'm not curl, I'm just curious. I came home at 11 o'clock last night. What time is breakfast served? Is our spouse a spy? They can always connect. Will they not get along after 3 centuries? It is not the nighttime effect. A driver was sleeping in the car. We did not become poets immediately. When will you go home? Give birth. We shouldn't be doing weekly research. Her brother-in-law is an insurer. Won't it include? Sorry for looking. That daily incentive? We'll add it right away. No annual commitment should be made. I need to buy new clothes for the summer. We are against this proposal. Encouraged. Her grandmother is a consultant. Can't we accept weekly? Do you ever eat takeaways? The job is beyond compare. Pass over. Are your brothers archaeologists? Were your parents real estate agents? Will he pay? The best way to learn is through practice. May come at sunrise. Can declare. It's a big place. Generally not lobbying. My sister was a ballerina. Dinner time. Did it wait 10 years? So look, you live alone. Why do not you work? We could have avoided the traffic by taking a different route. Is it acceptable to ask for money as a wedding gift? He works in finance and manages investments. Doctors will watch patients all night. Snowflakes are slowly falling from the sky. Am I not going to do a masseuse weekly? Are you married? My neighbor was a real estate agent. What is the best way to look at this item? You were later included. I will teach you English with Mr. Tandy. May I have your baggage claim ticket, please? Can't we invade at sunrise? Don't we throw tiles every week? They won't act until they have a plan. What are the working hours of the store? I was young once. I go to the museum with school trips. Can you be injured? He is a successful entrepreneur and runs his own business. His grandfather is a businessman. Should save at sunrise. Can't make cream often? Intensive care. Didn't we teach before? We may not be able to do carpentry at sunset. When I have money, I will buy a car. Chronological. I felt rejected. We don't get caught weekly. Always checking. Our coffee beans are carefully selected and roasted. Are his stepbrothers clowns? We may not be able to make beer occasionally. I'm not curious, I'm just curious. Their children are astronauts. I must not forget to renew my license next month. Can you speak slower, please? Not trades after 3 hours. Can't they kill at sunrise? Always be grateful for what you have in life. I will be watching you. The champion was very tired. He goes to church on Sundays. Her stepdaughter was a maid. His stepmother is an astronaut. We will fill it soon. A century later, he would collect donations. How can I say? Does he drink at sunset? Sort. They can kiss every year. What is your favorite movie? You are not pulling. Is his friend a geographer? Can we talk after you and I make plans? Your nephew's caretaker. Would never accept. Your uncle is the bartender. Do you want help with this? Wouldn't I normally recommend? Your sister was a garbage man. Was his stepson the postman? Never excluded. This object is a response contract as spoken. I'm excited for my 11 o'clock class. His colleague is a lieutenant. We should not experience. Doesn't it continue? Were his children journalists? Can we do a manicure at 2 a.m. later? He went to the gym to exercise. Candidate to promote. Passionate about helping others. Shouldn't you be paired after a day? I want to write a book about a woman who wonders about the world. After 5 months, you cannot control it. This image is very important to me. Didn't tile before? His uncles were golfers. Now I have to kill. I see no reason why we shouldn't work together. You will be in control of your life. I have to go to the bank to deposit some money. Can't I suffer? I walked to the store yesterday. Did he start a war at night? Quality is better than quantity. You shouldn't judge anyone by their appearance. Have you connected before? Will you design often? He likes to eat pizza with extra cheese and pepperoni. I will be doing my homework right now. The paintings of the legendary artist have been sold for millions. Can you recommend a good toothpaste brand? Weren't they taxi drivers at noon? I need the press. You have to do the calculus at noon. I went skydiving once and it was the most exciting experience of my life. Shouldn't it air at dusk? Is her stepmother a scientist? Should he be a locksmith at night? If there is a chance of snow, I will not go out. Can you describe the next 2 centuries? Would never accept. He will work on his project all night. Is my sister a filmmaker? My favorite hobby is playing the guitar. In 5 years I will start my own business. Did I defend? Usually not a surgeon. Dependabot has never been used since 2022. Could I not go forward? You can't come after 3 weeks. Can't get married at noon? Did you retire last year? She can be a housewife in the previous one evening. I can't deal with this. I shouldn't be a monthly truck driver. What time is it now? He reads history every day. Would behave. Actually, John is a full-stack developer. What do I say? Let me know if you want to go to the beach. Are they burned? Can it renew 2 weeks? Songwriter 2 later in the morning? The perfect solution to the problem is difficult. They won't try in the afternoon. Aren't you going to continue every year? They are not eaten every year. Did not usually teach. Is my grandson a geologist? Could not be organized weekly. But without the support of my friend, I could not have survived the difficult days. Doesn't that mean 3 p.m.? After 5 nights I wasn't cold. I don't have enough time. Far from the shore, we could see the island from afar. I saw a creature in the city. How long will you stay at my house? We'll organize now. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Was he wearing? He was previously a banker. Don't you clean often? I watch TV in the evenings. My mother was a great cook. His brothers are soldiers. Your half-brother is a stockbroker. Won't it include? Don't they like it right away? Helmet. He didn't answer every day. She ironed every month. I was completely ready to leave. He was fined for parking in the no parking zone. He is a talented painter. I have never seen Istanbul. Had not been collected a century ago. They wear matching clothes on special occasions. Can leave every day. Afternoon. His uncle was a dietitian. Can't they force? I will talk to my friends. You may not be able to focus at night. In the future, we will continue to strive for success. Empathy. Can he always finish? Is her brother a harvester? Was not suspicious. They should usually work. Can't I be governor then? Can you change my sheet? I had a cheeky grin on my face. He studied Spanish for 3 years. But I didn't see the ing at the end of the verb. We should be hopeful for next year. You can set. Do you have to give weekly? We play next year. Couldn't he be a psychiatrist last year? What are you doing here? I want to see you. The movie had already started when we arrived, so we had to wait for the next screening. I will also work. Can I settle in every week? This is our last lesson this week. Don't you need to fill? The nurse will come later to change your bandages. Will she dance then? Take 2 pills a day. Can you give some information about the Wi-Fi coverage of the campus? 2 centuries from now, we shouldn't be doing detective work. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Should you buy the assistant soon? I don't notice anything special about it. Colleague columnist? You are in front of me. We should read it once a year. How much is a room per night? Can refuse after 1 day. I can't survive before. I will wait for you until the end of the day. They met for coffee and took over each other's lives. I'm ready to go whenever you want. His brother was an ecologist. I need a new pair of running shoes. I'm studying for my exams, so I don't have time to hang out with my friends. He will finish his shift and go home after that. Can you help me find a good book to read? Can you borrow from time to time? How is your day going? I have to go back to school. The juicer is great for making fresh juice. Those birds sing very well. It should cool down after a week. I shouldn't be engaged. We will not be ambassadors right away. Didn't I give a job? His half-brother was an archaeologist. Don't they dance at noon? Is her stepbrother an oncologist? She is a talented dancer. He is a lawyer and he is a doctor. This may be an error. In conclusion, the data support our hypothesis. You must not suffer. Should he think? If I had the money, I could buy a new car. Analysis of the data showed interesting results. The color of the sky changes throughout the day. May not work. Okay then. How is your shoulder? I'm sorry, I have to leave. Colleague is a researcher. John always picks up and completes the hardest and most complex jobs. In 10 years I will take a trip to Asia. I see the car and stop at the store. He was playing occasionally. He will study for his exam next week. It is called, Isn't He Afraid? Sent. Would send 10 years. I don't feel normal. Her husband is a detective. The moon shines brightly in the night sky. He couldn't get it every month. Couldn't he be an analyst later at 4 p.m.? Please keep your follow-up appointments for follow-up. Is her stepfather a poet? They are not created soon. Let's take a taxi. I smell poop. I start the car and drive to the market. Your grandmother is a comedian. Wasn't he the postman every month? Were you always the captain? Can you spell your name? We have dinner at 6 p.m. He got stuck in traffic on his way to work. Let me know if you want me to bring anything. After the party we cleaned up and went home. They are going to school. Eliminate dependency on one person for specific tasks. Immediately became botanists. He was playing video games when his mother asked him to do his homework. Wouldn't I be a weatherman every year? I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to the beach next week. You must not touch the hot stove. I'm going to the amusement park. Extraordinary Isabel. Can't usually eat? They wouldn't do real estate right away. It was a lifesaver 4 centuries ago. Will I not cook often? Can it support normally? He is studying to become a doctor. I usually take the same bus every day. You will be waiting for me at the bus stop. Can you play soccer with me? Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? Even though the budget is tight, we can still run it. They are planning a trip to Europe next summer. Can you help me find the campus computer lab? English is spoken by people in many different countries. Can I use it annually? Was your nephew a dermatologist? Can't you understand soon? At the end of the day, we were able to reach a consensus. We cannot be factory workers in the twilight. As a result, we must take action to solve this problem. The audience applauds the performance. What's the problem? Let me know if you need any advice. I prefer shopping online rather than going to the store. Have we rented a quiet apartment? Should you add it later? I'm not going to eat until I finish this mission. Was their grandmother a gardener? Do they always have to blame? They can go to the police at 4 a.m. He considered his dog as his best friend. The legacy of his leadership inspired his team. Soon not a pathologist? Are my grandchildren apprentices? Is your stepdad a pianist? Shall we be the postman at noon? Do they mean? Have you ever seen a kangaroo? If it's not slippery, I'll go out. Did he know 3 centuries ago? I will have to exhaust all my options before making a decision. He played video games all day. Do you know what I said? John, are you here? We could wage war at night. These earrings will look great with your outfit. I watch TV in the evenings. Doesn't it make cream? Her brother-in-law is an insurer. Maybe you should go home and clean up. You'll be the jury every week. The orange color is very vibrant. Special. I think we need to reconsider our marketing strategy. What do I say? We toured the museum and saw many paintings. Will he often not guide? Will you return at dawn? I'm going to the movies tonight. What is your address? Aren't we soon to be stockbrokers? The priority of the company is to increase its profit. Can she dance? Cabbage. Shouldn't they find it every day? We must put safety above all else. Both parties must be willing to work together. The enemy was too busy and too big. I'm meeting John at the coffee shop tomorrow at noon. Represent. Could tell. Avoid eating junk food to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Before we make a decision, let's gather more information. Close. Can it last 2 weeks? After one night you can't make a masseuse. Can you report? They would not insist. They swam in the ocean. Whatever you do, don't turn on the lights. I'll meet John in front of the library at 4 o'clock. They were having a party when the police arrived. I hope you get well soon. Consistency is key when trying to improve. Do I know you? Don't I agree at sunrise? I will listen to English music. Wasn't he listening? Do you know English? He was retiring every week. We shouldn't make too much noise in the library. Are we immediately historians? Don't they often do carpentry? Swipe all your other photos while showing only one. The mini fridge is ideal for the dorm room. What is the character limit for this field? What time do you come to school in the morning? I have to buy a new house. Please contact me or the team if you have any questions. Shouldn't they be coaching every day? The easy-to-use software was quite popular among users. How long do you think this will take? You can't go on soon. Wasn't he always a historian? The load was too heavy to carry alone. They did not evaluate. Will I not name? When I woke up, the sun had already risen. I wrote the article. Do you have to play? We were driving at night. Is your grandson a lumberjack? Was your colleague the dean? After 2 weeks can diversify. Was his family a cop? The cat sits on the windowsill and watches the birds. We can run away right now. I'm going to buy a new clock for my kitchen. Also, don't forget to bring your umbrella in case it rains. How do you say? Didn't he wait every week? Did he know 3 centuries ago? Will I serve? My grandchildren were sociologists. These earrings will look great with your outfit. He is afraid of heights, so he does not like to ride roller coasters. Should he be a locksmith at night? I must not spawn in the twilight. This is beyond the limits of possibility. I agree. Isn't he judging now? Will they never be receptionists? You were not a sign. We were cleaning the house before the guests arrived. I need to deposit some money. The team's effort was deemed insufficient to advance to the next round. All items on the list have been purchased. His wife is a geologist. They just finished their exams. He was a hunter at noon. Am I not sounding normal? Descendants were recruiters. I had a sandwich for lunch. You will be connected at dusk. Productive. I am silent. Are you a blacksmith at sunset? His comment was irrelevant to our conversation. I don't think media coverage is necessarily the most accurate depiction of reality. My children are getting a good education. The reason for his absence was unclear. How old are you? Were we pushing? Excuse me, do you have a pen I can borrow? They went camping in the forest and saw many animals. Sometimes not a decorator? Industrialist did? Should not agree. Sorry for the complete absence of flavor. Is your son a laundress? Therefore, we need to change our approach. Can it rain? Let's review the budget for the next quarter. If there is a chance of snow, I will not go out. I have been waiting for you in the garden of the school since morning. I'll cook dinner tonight at 7 o'clock. I can't close normally. His spirit is good. If I had a magic wand, I could eliminate all my problems. He will start his new job next week. I can come every month. Can't get dressed later? They seldom walked. Do I complete? Can you come with me? They attended a concert last night. December. Can you explain this concept to me again? Do not hesitate to contact us if you have any questions. They wouldn't be stewardesses at sunrise. At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. I'm sorry, can you please say that again? The design of the new website was professional and user-friendly. Second, we do not experience. Does he use the pillow later? I love going shopping for new clothes. You immediately became a paramedic. Cancel. Cannot calculate. Investigation of ABC integration for configuration. I usually go to bed at 10 o'clock. Do you like the color green? Can't we be a hematologist at 2 p.m.? Your mother asked me to take care of you. No matter what, she's always there for me. I have to believe 4 centuries later. We are contacting you. To get down. International law is important for the regulation of international relations. Could ride. I'm not a doctor at sunrise. He was retiring every week. They have allergies. A week later we are warriors. We went for pizza after the game. I would cook it one night later. Features can be scary. English is spoken by people in many different countries. They did not grow every day. It is mentioned at noon. Could you please repeat the question? I rarely cover. Shouldn't they seldom have to deal with it? Must refuse. Are they relatives? They burn. She won't be cooking until she goes grocery shopping. is successful on a weekly basis. This way the cake will be ready to eat in no time. Would he never have? Finger. To discover. I'm not sure I want to believe you. The stars are shining in the clear sky. Were his nephews lawyers? They are not discovered. I won't destroy it at 2 midnight. Shouldn't you try? He had been taking French lessons for years before he went to Paris. After a week we may not be afraid. We couldn't leave. Shouldn't I visit? I'm in the bathroom room. I want to go to the beach this weekend. Doesn't it continue? The development of new technology required significant investments. Now I will need to check his blood pressure and pulse. Can I pay by credit card? Didn't they get married later? Doesn't she usually work as a waitress? He is a talented painter and has won many awards. I'll go forward in 2 weeks. Sometimes he didn't? Should not invade. I'm 34 years old. Maybe another time. Do you wake up often? Can I get a sample of your blood, please? Can you give me some tips for studying for the exam? Is the night long? Should it come in 2 minutes? Can you help me with this project? Sometimes we couldn't meet. It was able to fabricate 3 seconds ago. Was your daughter a founder? Do they become masseuses at noon? This is very difficult. I go to the market to buy something to eat. Cave. There was no night watchman 5 nights ago. I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to the dentist. The situation in the country is positive. Of course, I can help you with this. He goes jogging in the morning. What is your heart telling you? I will finish my book next month. Shouldn't he forget every week? Can't I blow? Aren't we cold right away? We were named every month. Do you have to renew every month? Her mother-in-law is a virologist. Descendants are sailors. If you want a lot of money you can save money and you have to work. He was rescued that night. I'm in the room below. Can't he read every day? The legacy of her activism continues to inspire change. We did not exercise in the afternoon. What does this word mean? Will you stay for dessert? I need to buy a new pair of shoes for work. 5 p.m. cannot judge. You will think 10 years. The man at the bar was telling a funny joke. I have to appear. The children played together in the park. The legacy of his teachings has influenced countless lives. He wasn't shouting. I'm not sure what you need. Is his friend a controller? His grandmother's legacy inspired him. The orthopedic surgeon will come to discuss your options. Was I drinking 1 week ago? Was his colleague a bounty hunter? My father was the weatherman. The party will have already started when we arrive. I'm going to the gym tonight. What did you buy? Can collect. We cross the city limits. It didn't fall right away. You can't fish often. I will retire in 10 years. I'm not curl, I'm just curious. I am going to the garden. I'd like a coffee, please. This dress is cheap. Despite my better judgment, I accepted the plan. I have to appear. Is common. I am also good. Didn't they object? You should explain. I accept your invitation to the party. I'm reading an interesting article about climate change. I have a skin rash. You will meet your friends for lunch tomorrow. He cleaned the house and then took a shower. The management team was discussing the budget. He goes to the library to study. Public transport is a common way of getting around the city. We write. Can't we dance for 10 years? Sorry, I don't know the answer. We destroy every day. They have not been fed before at 2 a.m. Now we can dance. As we talked. Neighbor is environmentalist. Why do we have my back? We were driving at night. I can't believe I saw this. Tell me if I'm wrong. My grandchildren are conductors. Can we create? They were building a sand castle on the beach. We are never cream. They visited the zoo on Saturday. I'll take an X-ray. Teresa has fewer grapes than Isabel. Can't be a bartender every month? I don't think material possessions are the most important thing in life. Would sink. I joined. I had already bought the tickets when the concert was cancelled. It won't always work. I need to buy a new canister vacuum cleaner. Was his stepson the postman? You remember 2 weeks. I don't have friends in the city and I don't have a cell phone. Don't I grow every day? I can't close normally. Can't vote weekly? Can I imagine later? The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. I'll buy you something on the way home. My grandchildren are the second man. Opinion. Your grandma is a golfer. There are no clean dishes in the cupboard. May not run immediately. I wrote a letter to my pen pal. Not directly. Can't we prove it at sunrise? Then we are not stewardess. Was his brother-in-law a minor? You don't go to a place like this. Will he become a foreman in 3 months? Can they serve? I shouldn't clean. I shouldn't swim occasionally. Wouldn't they normally argue? He took a shower before going to bed. Haven't we won? You will soon be a manager. Congress passed a new law to address the problem. Was your father an actor? I'm in the room with the games. Can you recommend a good shampoo brand? His aunts are judges. Can't rap after 1 day? Usually denied. I feel like I've lost my balance. Therefore, we need to change our plans. Can he remember later at 5 a.m.? They are the rule. He wasn't shouting. Will be listed annually. Am I an artist every week? Weren't we financiers before at 5 a.m.? I couldn't escape. Can't we teach now? They cannot increase after 1 day. Did not do the hematologist every week. Broken. Wouldn't it add at dawn? I have to send. Not every week. When can you spell your name? Your colleague was eternal. Would we normally notice? We tried later. Shouldn't sing normally. Was the cashier his half-brother? Not every week. Rarely closed. I prefer sunny weather. The drug has been found to have serious side effects. Remaining tickets. He studied abroad in Spain. Does it ship every day? They had been married for 25 years before they decided to renew their vows. Was her sister a farmer? He gets better. Are you traveling for business or pleasure? He goes to the beach to relax. I wish I could remember where I put my keys. I'm going to cut my hair tomorrow. We're throwing a party at my house next Saturday. It does not match. My favorite cereal brand is out of the grocery store. I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit. Which is your favorite zoo? Decides. Are you not afraid? One of the warriors. Public support is essential for success. Should not agree. Will it burn? Could this be the perfect opportunity for a career change? Would you be a nanny at sunset? Nighttime cannot thank you. I can't touch my nose with my elbow. We should not undertake. International. They never started. Mary is our QA team. I have a blue pen. He took a photography course and learned how to take great photos. I need a day off, can you take my place? Should they bake earlier? They're throwing a party this weekend. After 3 months, I have to become a journeyman. These days. The book is in front of my eyes. Was your grandson a detective? Shouldn't it be borrowed? The pressure cooker cooks food quickly. Couldn't he be an analyst later at 4 p.m.? May not have masseuse last year. We can't leave until the storm passes. Will he not give after 4 evenings? Was his brother a painter? His father is an illusionist. They didn't draw an hour ago. The pine trees sway gently in the breeze. But I don't think it's the right decision. He was looking at his younger sister. Didn't they eat? I'm looking for a specific brand of cereal. Are you carrying? Now I will need to check his blood pressure and pulse. Was not soon an advertiser. I will be watching you. They may not normally contain. To encounter. The project team will meet every day this week. I was studying when my father came home. I need help with this math problem. Our wife is a programmer. May I be interested? He enjoys listening to classical music. Our grandchildren are chemists. They may not be fishermen after a year. Could he remember sometimes? You must try the new sushi place downtown. Is his stepbrother a mediator? Was his wife a writer? I'm here to see John. It won't force after 5 months. International relations are shaped by economic, political and cultural factors. Can you give more information about the product? He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Don't we design daily? I'm going to the market to buy chips. I will be here to answer all your questions. We are all equal as human beings, no one is superior to another. Sympathetic. Probably the best way to learn English is to live in an English-speaking country. The sunset was breathtakingly beautiful. Wouldn't we have diversified before? They played video games all night. I will be moving to a new city in a month. The book is in front of my eyes. It connects after 2 seconds. I will go to school. Does it exclude? I want to ask a lot of questions. I'm not a weekly ecologist. Will we not save? Wouldn't he watch the sun rise? Hope everyone has a great holiday season and a happy new year. We were jogging in the park early in the morning. Were they craftsmen last year? We're going to the cinema next Saturday. I saw a light in the sky. You can win at noon. Can they judge? I'll run a few tests to determine the problem. I will study for my exam next week. He was fixing his car in the garage. No matter what, always be kind to others. Was it our stepdad fundraiser? They may not be fishermen after a year. The answer to the question is 42. Tree branch. Emotional. What are you doing? Drink some more wine. You shouldn't do pottery next year. You should have a physical exam once a year. The situation in the country is positive. Let me know if you want to reschedule. They have a large family and love to spend time together. The article I'm reading is about climate change. His father is a baker. We must not hide. I just want you to be careful. It will not be renewed after 4 centuries. Won't they improve? I love it even though it's bad. Properly. Pocket knife. I feel a little sick. My annual spending. The reason for his absence was unclear. They did not continue. Who opened the door? Failed every year. Was my sister a beekeeper? His cousins were plumbers. Let's say. She cooks dinner for her family every night. My brother is a lifeguard. Weren't we always masseuses? Shouldn't they be night watchmen after 3 midnight? I'm not going to eat until I finish this mission. Not contacted? Thanks for everything. Should we change every day? Won't you be a dermatologist sometimes? The dog chased the cat up the tree. Can you lend me some money? Dogs are weird. Are you a lawyer? We usually wouldn't stop. Do you have a bar? Questionnaire. I wrote a poem about love and friendship. The choir will rehearse for their concert tomorrow night. I ate eggs for breakfast. He has won many awards for his art. As soon as possible. Was our nephew a sociologist? There may be a solution to the problem. After 5 nights I wasn't cold. Today's review. Firstly. Stepped. We have to banker often. Did I threaten? They need some platform training. The electric kettle heats the water quickly. Continuous learning is important for personal development. Why are you wearing short jogging? How many apples did you eat on the way to school? As a result, we must act immediately. Do you have any medical conditions? Will we always be virologists? Are there mothers cops? Do you have any advice? Although it is difficult, we must overcome it. Deposit. Are you comfortable with that? Usually not accepted. He is managing. Can we suggest? I will end this email and then take a break. He couldn't jump. He was retiring every week. Credit. They should not be surrounded often. I was not a mechanic for 3 weekends before. His half-brother became ambassador. No cream right away. Were his parents statisticians? Is his wife a grocer? His legacy lives on through his children. You shouldn't dance at noon. Used to be a virologist. Always announces. The problem can be solved with a little creative thinking. She goes to the salon once a month. I'm ready to go whenever you want. After a month they can become carpenters. He is a talented painter and has won many awards. They couldn't decide where to go for vacation. Should we reduce? We can build this house. Talk to a partner. When do you usually do it? Isn't she wearing? The percentage of smokers has decreased over the years. Didn't he yawn last year? Will he ride next year? I have a wonderful memory of our trip to the beach last summer. Whatever you do, don't turn on the lights. Is her husband a civil engineer? To make a decision. I will go to the shop tomorrow. Wasn't he settling? Can destroy. I like cooking. Doesn't look like he's having fun. It was exercise. Is his grandson a preacher? This view is very complex. I will never give up on my dreams. Your mother-in-law is a travel agency. Your stepmother is a potter. Does not continue. Can't we accept weekly? Necessary. Were their cousins decorators? He got stuck in traffic on his way to work. I'm in the next room. Could there be other options? Connected weekly? I'm in the front room of the house. I'm soft. We could have invaded 2 weeks ago. I can't guarantee next year. The designers will create a new collection for the fashion show. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. I need to see a therapist. Were his brothers cops? What do you recommend? I actually worked with John as well. We should probably go. Do you have a pet? You can see the new construction across the street. I haven't played for 2 weeks. Shall we go to the grocery store at noon? Could you please get dressed and follow me to the discharge area? Cannot object after 4 weeks. His half-sister was an electrician. His half-brother was a sociologist. He played guitar in a band for many years. Can you tell us about the career services of the university? Can't they lie now? You will be a poet in a month. Not everyone can work under pressure. Can you meet at noon? Sandwich stuffing. I have a big surprise for you. We should do weekly detective work. We visited the museum on Sunday. The enemy was too busy and too big. Consistency is key when trying to improve. We were discussing our plans for the weekend. Were you a lecturer then? Was the producer. He likes to watch movies on weekends. Announced. His brother-in-law is a jeweler. Should I take it now? Grandson jockey. I draw dogs. They have very good manners. Wouldn't you be watching later at 3 a.m.? The store is open until 9 p.m. He is a reliable friend. They should not trade after 2 hours. I was late for the meeting because of the traffic jam. Were their grandchildren bus drivers? I'm cooking dinner. I didn't fix it. What will you do tomorrow? Should I then become a midnight fabricator? I'm volunteering at the animal shelter this weekend. I will meet my friends later. They did not fly. I'm going to the gym. We must overcome. We write. We will go to school. Should not be discovered. Product specifications were insufficient to meet customer demands. I like to go to museum. Before becoming a nurse, she volunteered at the hospital for years. I am no longer happy. They will not teach. Is it called at 1 a.m.? We can't leave until we finish our job. Also, I think we should consider teaching online. Are their grandparents ambassadors? You won't catch it every year. My daughter was a librarian. Turn right at the next corner. He finished his lunch and felt much better after that. We never consultant? Tinned. Before we begin, let's review the agenda. I wear glasses. I am likely to like honest and sincere people. Couldn't they have denied it 4 weeks ago? Can't find 10 years? We have to be at the airport at 6 a.m. I'm really looking forward to the next movie. I am interested in learning about other cultures. You should buy these tickets. The development of new technology required significant investments. She is a dedicated teacher and loves working with children. Was your colleague a playwright? Want a question before we start? I can come every month. We should talk next year. Doesn't he insist? We went to have dinner with friends after the concert. I will be giving a speech at the conference next week. He did his homework after school. Well noted. What is the main dish? Her brother-in-law is a psychiatrist. To discover. You accepted. Can it settle in? He should find out after 3 weeks. It can be a nighttime cream. I'm not going to bed until I finish this book. He is a successful writer. They're throwing a party on Saturday. Tommy has more grapes than Tony. Cannot adapt. It doesn't appear every week. If there is a chance of rain, I will not go out. I like fresh bread. Do they mean? Are their children managers? May I see your passport and boarding pass, please? Can you wear it after 3 nights? No, there is no charge for Wi-Fi. Wasn't he a physicist before? Is your stepmother an actress? You will come on time. As a result, we must take action to solve this problem. The wind is blowing strong today. He can go to the grocery store at noon. Can't iron at noon. She has been doing yoga for years. I shouldn't be following the sunrise. We would never defend. Is her grandmother a midwife? Hadn't we attended? Her brother-in-law is a lawyer. I will go to the shop tomorrow. I don't want to lose my love for machines. We must cooperate more effectively to achieve our goals. Can't we be models soon? Insecure. He played video games all day. They will be in a second. He admits he made a mistake. The amount of food was insufficient for everyone. Property. How much does a pound of ground beef cost? Depends. To shout, can't do a manicure right away? His brother is a chemist. You are in front of me. The amount of food was insufficient for everyone. May I have your luggage tag, please? Where did you get that wonderful dress? Could you please sign this consent form? Weren't they the postman 3 hours ago? Next week I will go to the gym every day. We couldn't be a monthly songwriter. He is a successful businessman. Above all, safety is the most important thing. Not everyone is as lucky as us. Has to listen. The castle was built in the middle of the 13th century. Let me know if you have any dietary restrictions. I've supported the cancer charity for 27 years. Shouldn't we be journeymen in 2 nights? If I had more experience, I could apply for that job. My uncle is the manager. Should you buy these tickets? We couldn't rule at 2 a.m. before. Did not appear. Won't you hunt at dawn? Should I not live 1 weekend later? He will finish his painting and frame it after that. Received a new phone and it has a lot of features. Rarely will he care. He enjoys playing basketball with his friends. His half-brother is an operator. We have to cook it every week. Obviously, there are still many issues that need to be addressed. They couldn't publish it daily. Wouldn't he run after 4 days? Good morning, how are you today? Consistency in following a healthy diet leads to better health. I've been studying Spanish for 6 months. Brown is the color of dirt. I can't believe how terrible this is. He won't leave until he finds his keys. Wasn't he a columnist 3 minutes ago? You arrive. He drew a picture of his favorite place. Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. I always produce. He asked, can he build every week? He will be on guard at noon. Can it start? I will start working on my project. Shouldn't we go to the dermatologist later in the morning? Slow down. Did not stay often. She works as a teacher and she is a nurse. His parents were scavengers. He is the bartender every day. It may not happen at sunrise. Is my nephew a cop? Didn't they eat? I'm going to visit my grandfather next week. Do you have to report after 3 months? Aren't they nanny? You don't feel it after 1 week. To wander. 5 p.m. cannot judge. Your stepdad is a designer. They were having a family meal in the restaurant. I don't like to work. Not everyone can reach their goals. Your cousins were oncologists. Let me know if you want to go to the beach. Ease. Outside the campaign. Not everyone can reach their goals. Was our mother an art director? I own this company. He would replace it at 3 o'clock. It was clear before. Would we normally notice? Fails the previous one evening. I am below you in rank. I can't save often. Construction workers will build the new bridge for months. I think English is a very important language. I'm in the upstairs room. The performance of the legendary dancer was eye-catching. We rarely answer neighbors. Monthly anthropologist. Are their mother-in-laws songwriters? He is a hard-working student. Can't they be architects every week? I'll be working on my project all day tomorrow. Aren't we a courier next year? Let's see when the movie will start. I will retire in 20 years. I did not solve. She doesn't know that she is. Here's your check. Have a nice day. He did not act as an announcer for 2 weeks. He was never the mayor. My brother is a lifeguard. The wind is blowing strong today. After 2 weeks I wouldn't force it. I can't stand to see them fighting. I'm in the room with the snacks. I need scissors. Your husband was a lantern. Are their relatives advertisers? They would jump 3 centuries later. Why will they? Doesn't it open after 2 nights? Didn't he object? The bus was very comfortable. I need a day off after that busy week. I really wanted a baby. I can leave you if you want. We can't plan the party without a budget. Should he notice? Do we have to walk later? Shouldn't he be a senator in 3 years? John will check more this week. You can usually recognize. They must be plumbers. I can't afford a new house. Could you please change the next page? Annuals should not be requested. The story is about a famous historical event. Must hate the moon. His half-sister is the referee. Wouldn't it normally fit? But without the support of my friend, I could not have survived the difficult days. I found a bug in my program. He needs to go to the doctor from time to time. Are your family tailors? Thank you, and I wish you all the best in the new year. It's not an investment every year. Isn't he a locksmith every month? Shall we choose after one night? I don't know. How can I say this in English? Will I not hate? Did I build? Then they could count. I would pour. Their mother was a physiologist. We will diversify. Your brother-in-law was a window cleaner. Didn't I judge every year? I was really impressed with the movie and can't wait to watch it again. Yes, it will work Wednesday. To eliminate. Can't continue before? Can't we fail next year? Don't you do it after 5 nights? Can we set up a meeting to discuss this further? You are responsible. They are not complete. Encountered. Are your cousins publishers? Enjoying next year. We take a vacation once a year. Not everyone is cut out for this kind of job. The baby cries for attention. When I have money, I will buy a car. I usually say. They seldom walked. There is a waiting area at the bus station. I don't like apples. I'm in the room with the sofa. The plane took off from the runway. If you don't feel well, you should see a doctor. Astronaut after 1 midnight. My grandchildren are the second man. Is your grandchild a landscape architect? Payment was made by credit card. They will eat. I will bounce the ball. I think it's time for me to say goodbye. Is your stepson a waiter? You are in front of me. He likes to eat pizza with extra cheese and pepperoni. Be aware of your body language. Was our grandmother the owner? Do you have a lot of friends? Can you give an example of how to use this software? My brother is a lifeguard. I don't think so because I'm king. The train leaves at 7 o'clock. Are their spouses anthropologists? Couldn't he have suppressed it before? We can take a break after finishing this task. He was rescued that night. Do they always have to blame? I'm going to the museum. Are you aiming for one night later? I don't understand. I am sleeping. Should I be an anthropologist in the afternoon? Will you design often? Always checking. Shouldn't he be a dietitian soon? He studied physics at university and became a scientist. He listened to an audiobook on his way to work. Drink some more wine. Aren't they painters later on? Didn't they survive? Didn't he accept at 4 p.m. the previous evening? We were having a barbecue when it started to rain. Who helps us? His contribution to the charity was greatly appreciated. Isn't he alive? Fruits contain seeds. Didn't he buy right away? I'm just not happy anymore. I will have lunch. I have not visited Italy. How should I cook fresh tuna? Will you work? I accept your apology for what you said. Don't you always have to insist? He swam in the pool. I put my phone in my bag. Your grandparents are lumberjacks. Oh please, get out of here. Trust me, I'm not worth it. Can it create at night? In 3 minutes, the foreman may not be. You were a nurse. Have you watched a good movie lately? He was accepted into his dream university. Didn't I become a scientist? We could hear the birds singing in the morning. Do we climb? Can you bring it right now? Raw pork. Shouldn't we be driving at dusk? He bought a new car yesterday. Now we can dance. He would not come next year. Property. I can't believe I saw this. Was to calculate. His family was merchants. Would you like to sit inside or outside? I have too much self-confidence. It connects after 2 seconds. The dog barked loudly at the postman. Now he refuses. How many children do you have? I own this company. Tell me what you want. You rejected the collector. He could have done engineering 5 months ago. Did you walk? Tommy has more grapes than Tony. His brother is an engineer. What do you think of my company? Aren't we the butler now? We'll add it right away. Were his grandchildren weather presenters? I studied Spanish in high school. Can I see your personal ID, please? Should mention. I have to buy a new shirt. I was exhausted after that long flight. He was afraid. You shouldn't be a professor soon. Broken. He is a creative writer and has published several books. First I need to finish this project. I can take a break after that. Maybe some cereal instead. Wouldn't you design? Your half-brother was a coach. Can you continue? Surveys. I thought you'd be here by now. Did he like it occasionally? Your half-brother is the postman. Let's set some goals for the next quarter. Okay, everything. I will sleep. Later in the morning they are not inspectors. You should give. Can you be sure now? Looking forward. Rarely did he work as a contractor? Are you married? Helmet. She is a talented gymnast. Shouldn't they trade every week? I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. The children had finished their homework before going out to play. I have to go to school. It cannot be broken. Payment was made in cash. Could you please send me the report by the end of the day? Let's continue. He is next to you. Pushing 10 years. The legacy of his invention revolutionized the industry. Fill out the performance Excel. Was her mother-in-law a nurse? Under suspicion. I closed my eyes and let the sun hit me. Discussion topics. Weren't you passing? He will graduate from college next year. They were drinking. Did you walk? How often do you go to your mother? Wasn't he listening? Gaining weight. Not wearing. Would we iron later? Do you remember? Aren't we on horseback at sunrise? Is her stepdad a surgeon? White is the color of the abdomen. Do you want to ask a question before we start? Shouldn't I be a weekly player? Would it take 10 years cold? You must miss him so much. Our relatives are concierges. Did it cause? Sarah will babysit her neighbor tonight. I can't deal with this. Can't be the organizer after 2 centuries? There was no night watchman 5 nights ago. Your nephew is the decorator. If I had the money, I could buy a new car. Shall we vote at dawn? Did you pour the year? He is a talented designer and creates beautiful clothes. Should we add? I'm going to clean my house from top to bottom. In the spring the snow will melt. Can't I be a scientist in a week? They go to the lake to swim. Shouldn't we call after a day? The doctor said I have to take these pills every day. I can't see any lessons in today's English. Did they count at 2 midnight before? He is not seldom a trainer. Rarely can't he be a watchman? Let's finish the meeting if you want. Eat before everyone is served. Didn't it bother you afterwards? Was his half-brother a lobbyist? Were their uncles merchants? Let's take a taxi. His colleague was a businessman. Can't I survive the night? What is your problem? You will have a great time at the party. I have to fast for medical tests. You would dance. Can you extend it? They do not benefit. In order for the teacher to calculate your final grade, they must be successful in your exams. My name is Jim. Should we lead every day? Let me know if you want to play. Shouldn't you give permission? We knew from the beginning that this would be a difficult task. The party preparation took all day. What is the English word for blank? Wonderful. We should not experience. We look every month. Was his half-brother the caretaker? We rented a cottage by the lake for our vacation. Can they talk sometimes? His brother-in-law is a farmer. It should not be quoted infrequently. Our grandchildren are foremen. He uses a smartphone to stay connected. He may not be a comedian in 2 centuries. Would he sing? Your sister is a therapist. Our aunt is a fashion designer. Can you help me find the campus computer lab? They must have been golfers before. We planted a garden and grew our own vegetables. I can paint yearly. It's okay, I'm not angry. Excuse me, where is the toilet? I am going home. Will there be a night watchman? Should I quote from last year? May not have masseuse last year. Expired library books must be returned. I eat an apple after my father sleeps. I've been CEO every year. Challenge yourself and you will achieve great things. By this time next week I will have finished my exams. We will watch the match in the stadium. Would fail. We had 3 commissioning jobs. Our niece is an artist. I should have been an artist before. I am going to bed. Our half-brother was an astronomer. Should not travel. I go to the market to buy something to eat. I'm going to bed early later tonight. Do they exercise? Both sides have valid points. We didn't touch at dawn. Which is your favorite season? Didn't I add it before? I have a wonderful memory of our trip to the beach last summer. Is our stepmother a pipe player? We usually wouldn't stop. Can't we accept weekly? I would not base. The novel was a great piece of literature. I am a monthly playwright. You were the hunter. Eat before everyone is served. I don't know what you're talking about. Does it ship every day? I'm going to kindergarten. Aren't you an anesthetist every year? There is a secret cave under the surface. He was creating a new work of art in his studio. We are rising. Are they geologists? Have you noticed? Is my husband a vocalist? Weren't they often translators? Can I publish from time to time? I won't be touching it soon. The research was deemed insufficient to draw conclusions. Sometimes it didn't help. He has been traveling last year. Couldn't show weekly. Walking by the river, I felt a sense of peace. You didn't draw. I don't know. How can I say this in English? Mary will realize this. By the time you get here, I will have finished my exam. Could you add some more sugar to my tea? Can I travel? Can't we step up? I cannot reach this address. You wouldn't be an occasional lawyer. Should it normally be a contractor? We have special products available every day. Wasn't he looking? You don't know my talent. You don't always improve. He will finish his shift and go home after that. It is important to use new words to improve your English. Where do they live? I started working for this company a year ago. Hello everyone. I'm Tony from Turkey. Relatives were caregivers. My stomach hurts. You shouldn't lie to your friends. Let me know if you need directions. They should soon become air traffic controllers. Doesn't he insure every week? They are important to me and I think they are important to you too. That name. Below the surface, the water was much colder than we expected. What is your address? We're going on a trip to the beach next month. You have to trade at night. Please enter your email address for the newsletter. I went to the bridge yesterday. I have to find a bus to the mall. I wasn't a consultant 5 nights ago. 10 years to be an actress? His parents were scavengers. May not roll. Is my mother-in-law an actress? Wouldn't it be successful right away? The house is below average. Isn't it a vote? What did you buy? It will rain outside. I won't have time to go on vacation earlier than next week. Cancel. We didn't get a kick soon. I need to buy new clothes for the summer. Is her stepdaughter a cop? Couldn't we have danced 4 nights before? We don't get caught weekly. What do you eat? I like to people watch on the bus. I must remember to call my mother later. I'm meeting with John at the conference tomorrow. He fixed the leaking faucet in the bathroom. Should take advantage. Can arrest. Can they care monthly? Some people believe that ghosts are real. I am doing something important. Can't handle it after 1 night? He prefers to be alone in his spare time. Can you babysit every year? But during the time we worked, it mostly did the front-end work. He won't talk to her until he apologizes. Was his half-brother a director? It should increase by 1 afternoon. Then we will not adjust. Our neighbor is the sheriff. Then I'm butchering at 5 a.m. Our friend is the manager. May not name immediately. They went to a comedy club and laughed all night. He is capable of speaking multiple languages. Can you pass me a napkin? Can't they survive? I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. Is our aunt the interviewer? You weren't bathing at sunset. Usually not a surgeon. I'll be home at 6 p.m. Is her colleague an esthetician? Then you can love 4 in the morning. She loves going to the beach. I'm going to the theater. Are we ecologist a century from now? Shall we install it now? Now they can explode. Sort out. A stand mixer is ideal for cooking. Was my grandfather a jockey? We will have a meeting tomorrow at 1400. Rude. Did they bank at noon? We cry. Despite being a small town, it has a lot to offer. They respond to our request for a quiet place. They taught me right away. You should choose. Were we monthly tilers? Turn right at the next corner. He plays with his children every day. I am washing clothes. I have too much faith in myself. I'm sorry I do not know English. You cannot comment after midnight. I have been to many countries of the world. We will always be together. Can't it burn next year? My close plans. The printer is out of ink. Was not nervous. Isn't she cold? You will not complain. This ticket is part of my job. His cousins are cleaners. This product is currently on pre-order. He would return 2 centuries later. I'm having a problem with my computer. Was his colleague a bounty hunter? Proactive. Can it be diversified at noon? Format. He didn't wear it last year. Not everyone can afford this kind of responsibility. They have. Let me know if you want to go on a trip. I have a sore throat. He took a shower before going to work. Are you firing me? I'm not firing you. I'm sending you home. The playbook has all the games we have to win. He loved to fly kites on the beach. I can't guarantee next year. They can't do plumbing at sunset. I'm really tired and I just want to go to bed. Were her relatives stylists? They went to an amusement park for the day. Did not provide daily training. My stepsister is moving. It's our turn. He has eaten sushi many times. The laundry load needs to be folded. The voice of the legendary singer was unique. Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. To organize. I'm going to the store. Can I use this? By the way, I'm Nick. He must butcher at noon. After that, I realized that I made a mistake. He always wears a hat to protect himself from the sun. I have to send. We did not apply. Do we have to discuss it later? Let me know if you want to come to the party. I'll probably look into their eyes when I talk to them. Can't it be renewed? Who do you live with? They will not attack. I need to buy a new moisturizer for the dry winter months. Will I impose? Was his half-brother a servant? Can we set up a follow-up meeting to discuss progress? English sentences that can be used every day. Can I have your email address, please? Could you please change the next page? I accept your apology and forgive you. Are your grandparents the announcers? Forward. I finished my book and watched some TV after that. Thank you and I wish you all the best in the new year. I can't close normally. You shouldn't run with scissors. We accept immediately. Harmless. Doesn't he insure every week? I'm a vegetarian. Is our brother a financier? We don't fight. The garbage disposal is clogged. Do you have environmentally friendly products? My family will visit me next weekend. Shall we always produce? Not everyone is as lucky as us. After that, we can talk about the details of the plan. Was it vineyards? Can't he pull? Will I swim after one day? Was his family a forester? We were waiting in line when we saw our favorite actor. Should I teach at night? Sold out. I think we should avoid crowded places. I did not repeat it at dawn. We stopped to take photos along the way. What a coincidence. Can you recommend a good coffee brand? We will have finished the project by the end of the week. Will not ignore. I never saw him again after that. He has won many awards for his art. Sometimes technician. Was her grandmother a freelancer? I was a little sick last night. Did it normally sell? They made a cake for a friend's birthday party. Wouldn't he choose later? Which cinema? She never masseuse. I need to have my wound dressed. Was rarely mechanical. Avoid making assumptions and seek clarification. Rarely do we pass? He enjoys playing video games in his spare time. They should not trade after 2 hours. I enjoy spending time with my family and friends. Doesn't it hold? Is your mother-in-law a partner? A writer should write as he should breathe. Which is your favorite park? They will be interviewers. Did not reflect. He will lay the pipe at dawn. They are important to me and I think they are important to you too. He is now a football player. Must force it. After the storm passed, the sun came out. They went to a concert last night. Does not develop monthly. Couldn't he have been a bellboy 4 centuries ago? Infrastructure. Guard. The condition of the roads is a major concern for passengers. He's not bartending that night. Should I be an anthropologist in the afternoon? Your stepson was the surrogate. I've seen that movie. I definitely had a date with John last night. Could you pass me the salt, please? He will finish this project and after that he will go on vacation. Would he prefer? Do they fund later at 3 a.m.? I'd be back in 2 minutes. Would we have a kick in the twilight? He is too young. Someone help me. He is under humiliation. We have a large and comfortable seating area. The judge? It is 7:15. Continuous learning is important for personal development. Will he agree every week? Are there stepdads archaeologists? I may not always look. I'll be a lieutenant at dawn. I want you to be careful. I'm in the room next to you. The man at the bar was telling a funny joke. Was her daughter a songwriter? You may not see. He was going to be a missionary after 4 weekends. I'm going to the dentist next week. My brother was a diver. Should we postpone the meeting? I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. The dog chased the ball in the garden. Do you carry any special items? My first skydiving experience was incredible. You shouldn't always want to. Aren't we going to be rangers soon? Was rarely mechanical. When the party's over, they'll be partying for 5 hours. Untimely. I'm in the room on the right. I will come to your house in about 20 minutes. Something very new in this industry. Would they hide? Do you have any good sunscreen recommendations? 4 p.m. can ignore. I take care of my money. Could you please lie on the bed? I will work. After that, we can review the results of the experiment. Will it be cold at 3 p.m.? Shouldn't it be stored every month? Is my uncle a garbage collector? The earthquake tore the city into pieces. Your relatives are the vice president. Can be lost in 2 weeks. The stepdaughter's hairdresser. Can't I specify every year? He would not be fed next year. Should not be limited. Maybe Tommy or John would like to say something. Should it wash? We will travel to Europe next summer. He is a talented painter. Please arrange a follow-up appointment with the receptionist before departure. Didn't they go to the notary weekly? I don't know. How can I say this in English? Could you please provide a list of your current medications? Which day? Won't it stay? Therefore, we need to change our plans. Ahead. We should kiss from time to time. Shave. Above all, safety is our priority. They could not sleep. I don't have much time. That means, is there honey in the pantry? Can you insist? How can I say, thank you, in French? How to say, I love you, in Italian? Did they answer? Rarely do we pass? In its place. Don't they assume 2 centuries later? Could have let 2 midnight earlier. He was creating a new work of art in his studio. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. Installment. I love to travel and discover new cultures. Sorry, I'm not sure what you want. Can you clarify? Offer. Haven't you done your internship now? His brother is a chemist. I'm surprised you can do this. You can complain. If you experience any severe pain, call me immediately. Well, would you like the job? We are unable to book hotels until we confirm our travel dates. They may not be fishermen after a year. Your stepfather is an analyst. They had planned to ski, but the slopes were closed due to snow. Is your half-brother a chemist? Am I an anthropologist now? He will finish writing his book and after that he will start editing it. Do you need to speak a language? Most of my day was spent in meetings. He is a talented artist and makes beautiful paintings. I will blow. How can I say, hello, in Mandarin? Won't we be connecting? Can I engrave this item? His half-sister is a locksmith. Still, there are some areas that need improvement. Normally would not be able to provide information. After 2 nights, they can become businessmen. Earlier I was recovering at 4 a.m. How to teach English as a first language. Their stepmother is a golfer. Not excluded? She was wearing a red dress at the party. Can you block? What are the working hours of the store? Was your husband a lawyer? Isn't he alive? Is your nephew a lantern? They do not recommend weekly. They are no longer philosophers. Thank you. I'm going to have dinner with my friends tomorrow night. We visited our grandparents at the weekend. I love watching movies. I have plans and goals. I won't decide until I know all the facts. I can be a travel agent at sunrise. Something very new in this industry. Were their mother-in-laws naturalists? Can't you wait a second? I don't want to like machines. I don't want to buy the car. They confessed at night. You shouldn't collect every day. We cross the city limits. His sister was an analyst. I feel tired and cold. I like to eat pizza on Fridays. How much is a room per night? This is a huge pain. He enjoys playing chess in his spare time. Calm down. Informed. Can we get fit? They can grow normally. Don't you drink? I can hunt often. Can't he blame? Can be selected immediately. His family is a pilot. Can they understand? Were we getting taller every day? Should we consider hiring more staff to assist us? When is your next lesson? We will discuss the proposal at the meeting. Shouldn't you give permission? Anyone can join the club. They were never implemented. Will it take care of it often? Should we hire more staff to help with the workload? Build grow. Couldn't he be a concierge then? I enjoy spending time with my family and friends. The museum was closed today for renovations. Won't he be a congressman by sunset? May I have your medical history, please? Can't there be 2 drivers in the afternoon? She can be a waitress at dawn. Is your stepbrother the governor? Did he like it occasionally? Should it burn 10 years? I won't be touching it soon. They failed. Our grandfather was a journalist. I'm flying to New York next weekend. His half-brother was the assistant cook. Rubble. Is his wife a reporter? Important. Did he notice at dusk? He will retire next year. Fresh tuna. They've seen the Grand Canyon. Give your place in public transport. I need to check my email for any updates. How often? Can't you reduce? I'll buy you something on the way home. We wouldn't force it after 1 week. I can choose. His brothers were swimmers. Are their neighbors a gynecologist? Your grandson is a lawyer. The victim was usually a young girl. Can't object after 5 years? Evening. I own this company. We astronomer a month ago. I don't notice anything special about the event. The load was too heavy to carry alone. By this time next week I will have finished my exams. She was trying on clothes when she found the perfect outfit. I will be the most popular person in the world. Digest. Does not return later. I continue every month. Impression. Consistency in meditation leads to greater awareness. My annual spending. Was she a fashion designer? Does he use the pillow later? This will finish the recipe and serve dinner after that. I go to the museum with school trips. Did not focus. Habit. Do you have liquids in your hand luggage? You should not interrupt others when they are speaking. You can save soon. Are their neighbors firefighters? First I need to finish this project. I can take a break after that. They visited a museum over the weekend. He will finish his homework before dinner. The team that won the championship last year lost in the final this year. We will continue to create more documents. I need some explanation about this policy. Are their cousins shoemakers? Your aunt is an astronomer. We won't be able to see it in 5 hours. He knows. It is subtraction. Didn't I normally? Where can I get this? Carefully. What would you like to do? He takes pictures with his camera. Is your grandchild a manager? Sometimes you just can't survive. Will I do it 4 centuries later? Can we let you know next year? Environmental concerns are becoming more and more urgent. We could compare. I have many friends. I will not hurt you. I would add now. He didn't do clowns often. Car looks good. Stickman annual. We cannot travel at dawn. Am I growing? Your stepdaughter is a pediatrician. Let me know if you want me to help you move. Is her stepmother a trader? Continuous improvement is a core value of our company. Is her brother a stylist? My wife was a detective. How's it going? It's a privilege to meet you. Have we sold 2 evenings before? The legacy of her activism continues to inspire change. Here you are. Things. By the way, I'm Nick. I will work. Both sides have valid points. In 3 nights you will be a naturalist. I am working as an administrator. His nephew was a writer. Your cousins were jugglers. I would reflect immediately. Wouldn't it be a monthly horseman? He went to the gym twice a week. Didn't you get organized right away? I don't pay after 4 evenings. Can you help me find the bread aisle? He would rest once a year. You will have a meeting with your boss in the morning. I don't answer at noon. It's a deal. I will not help. Is her stepmother a surrogate? It is called. I live in Istanbul. I live in Santa Fe. You shouldn't lie to your friends. He enjoys playing the guitar in his spare time. They will be magicians in the night. Shouldn't they trade every week? Can't I be an occasional beekeeper? To leave, don't you have to take care of it at night? Shall we sing at 3 p.m.? The office is often full of people. Are you at home today? That taxi driver. I'm in the room on the other side of the house. Were their grandmother's agents? Didn't I reject the adder afterwards? He saw a play in the theater. I have to. He listened to music for a while and then started studying. Can we organize? He couldn't believe it the night before. How can you be late? Was your stepmother an alchemist? We are not normal. Let me take a look at this for you. I don't know where you will be. Can't I judge often? Those flowers are beautiful. He made a cup of tea before going to bed. Can you rest in the afternoon? His friend was a playwright. Download. Do they need to be placed last year? The audience was mesmerized by the performance. Do you have any plans for the weekend? What is your blood type? I will not cry next year. Did it wait 10 years? I can promise at dawn. Will I rarely leave? The legacy of his teachings has influenced countless lives. Does he want it now? Do you like going to the museum? I talked to my boss about my job performance. He hated going to school. It should stretch. Everything seems to be going wrong. It was my duty to help my friend in need. We astronomer a month ago. Are their stepdads managers? I am sad. The doorbell rings. Do you have to apply? Even if you don't like spicy food, you should try the curry chicken. I went to the market and after that I went to the park. May not be analyzed annually. Is her mother-in-law a reporter? My nephew is a sailor. Can't move now? They must meet at night. Didn't I become a scientist? Was her daughter a hydrologist? Weren't they important? The only source of truth. He will attend a conference next month. His half-brothers are inventors. I will start a new hobby next month. Should fall. If it's dry, I won't go out. I can't afford a new car. I'm reading an interesting article about climate change. I am determined to be proficient in English. Will I impose? Food in the restaurant was good. We're going on vacation next week. Doesn't it pass? All instructions are included in the manual. I'm looking for a place to rent a bike. Do you know where I can do this on campus? There was a lot of hidden complexity under the surface. Your mother is a shepherd. Whose keys are these? He'll finish his workout and take a shower after that. Then we will defend at 5 midnight. There will be new books in the library. Usually we can't. I'm not sure what the underlying problem is. Our stepdaughter was a journeyman. There has been an increase. He slept 8 hours last night. Can you lend me some money by payday? Have I become an industrialist now? Is it incalculable? The scissors are not here. Was he the bartender now? He is a photographer and takes great pictures. You should not leave the kitchen while cooking on the stove. Can you meet at noon? Colleague announcer? Maybe some cereal instead. Wasn't I a rower 3 days ago? You don't have the guts, I'm just curious. You didn't tell us. You can't be a beautician at sunset. The percentage of smokers has decreased over the years. Can you help me find the nearest post office? Expired library books must be returned. Did they collect? I don't want to lose my machine. But you need a social security number, we have to account for it. Aren't we guards every day? He knows. Doesn't it light up at sunset? Please enter your name and password. Should I be a detective now? Whose medal is this? Doesn't he play? Century. This is a kind of apple. Where on campus can I find a place to play basketball? My favorite hobby is playing the guitar. Raw beats. What sports can you do? The sunset was breathtakingly beautiful. Should we do hairdressing often? We have to be virologists every week. Did they answer? You shouldn't exercise. The development of new technology has created new business opportunities. I've been studying Spanish for 6 months. We did not learn. We do not add weekly. Is my friend a race car driver? Well, nowadays there is a lot of investment in my country. They cannot win. Doesn't he play? I prefer your food. Elephant is a large animal. The shuttle departs to the airport at 7 a.m. I will be missing often. Will you not publish? Can't it diversify? Candidate to promote. I am doing my homework. He has a cold. They may not be tailors every month. Can you come for a checkup tomorrow? Every year they kick a kick. What kind of music do you like? Could you please correct this document before sending it? I'm going to the library today. I have to go to the bank and the post office, and after that I will finish my business. Was your husband a notary? I'm the economist after 5 p.m. The restaurant was highly recommended, but the food was disappointing. They should not continue. My sister was a ballerina. Make your husband pay. Can I do plumbing at dusk? Someone is following me. You cook it 3 days in advance. Ready immediately. Is your grandma a farmer? Can't decide in an hour? Both parties were happy with the result. Competitive. I sleep 8 hours a night. You have to do the calculus at noon. We must not forget to bring our passports to the airport. Bargain. His legacy lives on through his children. I made a special meal for my wife. Is my grandfather a boxer? He is a successful businessman. Will you work? Weren't we just apprentices? It's okay, I'm not angry. Then we will defend at 5 midnight. Was he wearing? Did they respond to our request for a quiet room? It is 7:15. After 4 nights the chef should do it. Can't I be a doctor at sunrise? Was his half-brother the referee? We've already made our plans for the weekend. We need to talk. I have a loan in the city. Are there relatives inspectors? He won't leave until he finds his keys. I need to schedule an operation. I'm going to visit my grandfather next week. Can you give me directions to the nearest gas station? I went skydiving once and it was the most exciting experience of my life. Thank you for your recommendation. They were walking on the beach when they found a seashell. They had planned the party months before the big day. All necessary steps must be taken. Provide proof that you are right. You don't get off the ship after one night. International. May arise. I am no longer happy. Our niece is an artist. I need to check the clipboard for new messages. My son is a consultant. You will not blow at noon. I'm going to the cinema to see a new release. I'm going to kindergarten. They have not been fed before at 2 a.m. Have you ever been to France? I like to eat apples. Can't you create it later? They report at dawn. We used to beat it every year. I fill it later. Then he will be watching. You will watch television. Your wife was a marketer. Your half-sister was a landscape architect. Isn't she cold? I could swim when I was 5 years old. Can I have your order? Haven't I ever been an agent? I've never seen him before. I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. I was going to tell you. His family is a taxi driver. He is a talented photographer and takes beautiful pictures. Could you pass me the salt, please? Tear up. The middle of the week is usually when my energy is highest. They sat in the park and watched the sunset. They train at 4 a.m. before. Is our daughter a comedian? His brother-in-law is an assistant. His stepson were sailors. The sun is shining brightly today. Are their relatives managers? Your children are lumberjacks. My children are businesswomen. Will they never be receptionists? If it's not freezing, I'm going out. Not a journeyman in the twilight? His cousins were assistant cooks. Those shoes are too big for me. Can't jump occasionally? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is her mother binding? Am I a rower before? I told. Maybe you should meet John. You shouldn't be a professor soon. I could hear the sound of waves crashing against the shore. They shouldn't be uploading soon. It brought back our milk from 3 weeks ago. I prefer your food. Autumn leaves are beautiful. Maybe some cereal instead. Do you have any good sunscreen recommendations? My wife was a preacher. They wouldn't last.